Hello everyone, welcome to our Canton Fair online live show for 128 Canton Fair. So today is day 4 of our Canton Fair live show. So we are Goksun Architecture Design Agency, and we are major to doing all of buildings architecture designs. My name is Muhammad Ali, the foreign affairs officer and the international e-business officer of this agency. So today we will be discussing something about the architecture stuff. So the first things we will know is what is architecture. Well, according to the linguistic to say the architecture is basically the words from the ancient Greek. So it's akon, it means ruling, and also another word, tectum. The tectum is the word for the build or establish. So it's ruling for the building and establish. So that is exactly meaning of the architectures. Well, so because we are the Goksun Architecture Design Agency. So what mean by architecture design? That is quite important things which related with our jobs. So the architecture design is mean before we doing the construction and we successfully constructed the building. So we need to have some image. We will be put our image onto the draft. Of course, the draft will be laid out many times and change and these things, and then we will become the practice of the draft. And after practice of draft, we need to become the construction details of the draft. So according to this, so that whole of the process will be called the architecture design. During this design process, we will be drawing the city plan mappings, and we'll be drawing such as the flooring mappings, and also we'll be drawing the sections, also something like this. During today, so we'll be saying so architecture design is a start of the architecture project. So if we want to build something, we must do basically on this architecture design. So that is our job. Well, let us to talk about the history of the architecture design. Firstly, in my mind, the architecture design is basically on the human need. At the ancient time, so at the beginning, the human requirement, human need some place to live in rather than we live at a cave. So we will be set up the residential buildings. So that is a fundamental requirement of the human beings. And afterwards, we will be fit ourselves. So we must to be do something. So we will create the buildings of industrials to try to make something and try to do the manufacturings. Afterwards, we must to got some exchange areas. Then the commercial buildings will be set up for our architecture design for. So afterwards, when the human being is creating their marketing, creating their industry, creating their own science or philosophies, they want their buildings or their knowledge to be teaching to their next generations. After this, the educational buildings will be set up. So during this process, the humans still want to many people or last generation or other people to remember them. So they will create some buildings such as the galleries, the museum, this kind of buildings. So this is kind of the art buildings or the gallery buildings. So according to the Karl Marx said, the ancient human world just like the pocket of the potatoes. So everybody didn't link it very much. But because the industry is development and make the technology to development, so the human beings have much more connections among each other, from the pocket of the potatoes to become the mashed potatoes. So much more combinations between each others. So during this process, the two different places of peoples can be meeting each other by their transportations. So the transportation junction or transportation harbor will be creation, such as the transportations like the train station, railway station, coach stations. Now all of these stations or hub is that the combination become in the same area. So we can from one place to another place by simple and nice and easy. So afterwards, so the human beings still create much more different things for their architecture buildings or architecture designs. For example, the human being is creating the designs of the steel structures or the light steel or light steel structures. Also, they creating their container buildings. So that is simple, nice, and easy to carry up and easy to sit up. Also easy to close them up. So that is a new things of the human being to creation for. Well, as a finally, I want to say, so human is creating all of these things, but then human want to make their own group to be trust each other. So then they creation the things of the belief system. So the human beings will have the people who have the same belief systems that will become the same group of people we call us. And then the other belief of people we call them. So we will creation the buildings sounds like the belief system buildings. For example, from the western to the eastern, we creation the church, we creation the mosque, and we creation the Hindi temples like Taj Mahal. So and then finally in the eastern area we creation the temples. So that is a human belief system buildings, where all of these kind of buildings our Goksun Architecture Design Agency can do for this. Well, so another thing is the landscape and the environmental ecologist buildings and designs. So for ecologist things, according to the current views, the ecology is much important things for all of the world, even the climate change. So make all of people know the environment is much more important. Where our Goksun Architecture Design is major for the environmental with constructions and the landscape buildings. So that seems is a quite important thing for all of people to do for and to consideration for, rather than we only to produce the single buildings and with nothing. So our sense of and personal philosophy for our architecture design is we will make the combinations between the nature and human being and also the different functions. Make these three things to combine together in the same particular area. Well, that song is what? That song is our three-dimension printing stuff. So we will making the three-dimension printings to make the model, and we make a model to make our imaginations to become a draft, and then to using these three dimensions make a model to try to lay out and try to analysis by ourselves or by our customers to say what exactly we do. Well, of course, this kind of printing process will be taking maybe 10 hours, so that is a quite long way. So we just say that, maybe we can come back with later. All right. So here, look at these logos. These logos is our lovely Goksun logos for our architecture design agency. The Goksun Architecture Design Agency logos is quite famous. Of course, they should be famous. Well, we saw that is a couple of the samples we doing before or we finish doing. So the first thing is some particular city CBD recreation for. This CBD is a combination between the commercial buildings and also become residential buildings, and then it's a building of industrial and building of the galleries, also with the landscapes. So look like these buildings, the taller buildings, as like the raising of the dragon. So that seems with traditional our tattoo. So our totem, our totem is sounds like the dragon. It's our civilizations. Also, they got some much more lake and watering, and also the playground, and all the landscape stuff. So just like I mentioned, so put the environmental and functions and also the human life together is the way of our thinking. Where like that. Go to here is kind of the residential buildings. These residential buildings still got much more specialized. That specialized will be the landscape. You can see the landscape is got much more rooms and space, because this landscape is very important for the human beings, to make the human got much more fresh air and still got some place to got training and exercise. So that is pretty nice. Where let me put this way and come to here. So there is some kind of particular areas of the industrial park. So this industrial park is not only for the functions of the industry, they are still got the functions of the commercial, industries, and marketing, also the residential. Because on the top, still have some landscaping stuff, and with much more green belt. So that things is still, as I mentioned, so we will be put together between the environmental ecologies and the functions and the human life. So on top is the largest project we're doing. That is some particular high-speed railway stations. The China high-speed railways is established very nice, and this is the largest high-speed railway stations. That is not only for the railway stations we do in the railway stations transportation hub. So it's a combination between the railway, high-speed railway, and bus, coach, and taxis, also the subway. So that is things we do. We will make the functions getting stronger and stronger. All right, that way moving around and go forward. Okay, this is our logos, and also it's very lovely and famous. And also, if you guys interested, so just log on our website or log on our Facebook and Twitters. All right, to say that is particular models we're making by the 3-dimension printing to make the modeling. So that is some market or some nail, is some street with some commercial buildings. Yeah, just like this. There is that photo, the dragon buildings here. All right, we go to this red house. This red house is the place of where does the design creation form. So first, from the imagination to become the draft. So there is some kind of project or samples we're doing. So you can see we do a lot of different kind of things. No matter about the industrial buildings or the commercial buildings or the educational buildings, we do all of them actually. Here is as well. So our notion of the building is our own notion of the architecture is we will design by the accurate and succinct, and our goal is we want to the world beautiful again by our design. So that I will show you something special. This one is three-dimension videos. So the three-dimension videos is we use 3D mask to make these videos to try to make this building getting real, and we can comparisons with the flooring mappings. These things is compared, and we can bring to our customers or the other people to see and watch what exactly that things we do.
这个是建筑模型，它主要是以 3D 的形式表现出建筑与环境之间的关系。相较于平面图的话，模型的表达更加直观而且形象，可以体现更多直接与概念形态相关的信息。拿这个项目来说的话，左侧为学校项目，然后右侧为这个平面管理中心，然后后边的是一个档案馆。它整个片区的行车路线及人流路线呢形成统一，并且带有趣味性的退开，还有连廊。然后学校北侧打造的是一个集中式的景观带，并与体育健身相结合，让业主们在健身娱乐的同时，也能欣赏到美丽的中式园林风景。
Okay, so this particular buildings we're making is kind of the university's buildings we're making, and still with the commercial buildings, with the marketing and everything inside, and then there still got some landscape. This landscape try to make the combination between the studies and the exercise and the environmental, also with the kind of the commercial stuff. So this modeling is the best advantage is they can let the customer see exactly what does that, and rather than only for the mapping. So all right, thank you. Okay, guys. If you're interested about our agency, please log on our Facebook and Twitter, also the YouTube. So, I mention again, so our goal is make the world getting beautiful by our design again, and our value is we design with accurate and succinct. Well, so you can see what is the job we're doing here is we creation the plans, and we also creation all the things we do for. So that is the place of the birth for some particular idea and plans. We actually is a professional architecture design agency with useful and utilities. Our agency has a wide range of the project practices, such as the smaller buildings, the micro renovations of the old city, and the urban renewal, and the experimental studies of the lifestyles. We are working on the design practices of the architecture, landscape design, and arts of the research on the urban physical societies, cultures, and the environment. Also, seek to the creation design platform that truly connects the urban environmentals with overall solution for the design. We focus on the architecture and the city life, pushing the relevant topics rather than only our skills. Well, our goal is, again, I mentioned, to make the world beautiful again by our design, and we are designed by the accurate and succinct. Well, let we move to this side and to see what exactly this person doing. So
这是我们做的
this
一个
particular landscape styles we
商业
do
综合体的一个项目，
is a combination between the commercial buildings
主要是做它的景观配套。景观呢，主要体现的是商业的一个气氛，还有整个商业的功能需求，比如屋顶的这种景观空间的划分，屋顶的绿化，还有整个平面的这个商业街的景观布置。
like we mentioned to put together between the commercial these functions and also the human life and also the environmental. So on the top of this building still got some landscaping for some particular tidy up. So rather than only the commercial buildings. So all of these things got some green belt with this kind of the commercial buildings, so that it looks much nice and much natural. All right, thanks for your working. Well, after we making the things outside, so that will be put up this thing to become the inside stuff. So that group is our home internal decoration. So this group is major to do the things about the home making up. So when you got the home and when you got the home, you have to make them up. So compare with the outside and structural things, this thing is much close to you. So now we will move to this side for 3-dimension show.
本案的业主是一对年轻的小夫妻，所以我们的一个基本定位就是现代简约风格。
So we are image and the owner of this house is a couple of the young people. So it's a simple and nice. Also the making up and all the wall and also the top, the light. It's not big light but a smaller light. So this looks much more comfortable rather than this is not the official buildings they are working. So this is the home. It feels much more warm heart.
整体的色彩搭配上是以黑白灰为基础，然后点缀上一些雾霾蓝颜色。因为业主他们非常喜欢大海，所以说特别强调一定要加入这种蓝色系。
So the major colors of these buildings is with some gray colors, also some white colors on the wall, and also some ocean blue colors. Because these young couples like the ocean and maritime very much, so they will put their room sounds like they are in the ocean, they are in the holidays for vacation.
然后我们再看一下主卧室，主卧室同样背景上也是有这样的一个蓝色系为基础，然后我们没有用传统的壁灯的设计，而是用木饰面背景墙暗藏灯带，可以供业主进行阅读或者是休息，而且氛围会比较好一些。
So this is their bedroom. Their bedrooms, the light is didn't on the top. It's just put them inside of the wall. So this looks much more comfortable, and the light didn't too strong.
接下来我们看一下次卧室，次卧室的面积相对较小一些，所以说我们的造型也比较简单。但是我们会在家具上着重一些细节设计，例如书桌这里就是白色跟原木色搭配，非常的温馨。
Before we saw that is master room. Now it's another bedroom. So because the bedroom is not very big enough, so we will using the details and much more actuarial and the details much more. Especially for the tables, we will tidy them up and make the tables much more colorful and comfortable. So is try to make everything and every room to be there. All right, thank you. Thanks for your show. All right, let's go to this side. So just like around the circle. So here is a couple of the buildings we doing for as our products. So we can see we can recreation lots of buildings we do for. So no matter about the commercial buildings and also the residential buildings. So especially for these things, we doing this kind of the culture commercial buildings and culture commercial buildings, just like these communities we're doing. Especially you see we're using these rivers, using this water to put the water into this here to become the our making of the smaller creek, and surround this creek in the two bend of this creek. There got some particular market and particular mall or shopping centers, and this set of these buildings is a kind of the villa. So just like this. So now I will show you another department of the group. So here is just like I mentioned, when we finish the plan of the building and we will finish to draw the draft, so we will try to practice. This place is major to working for the practice. So especially for the inside stuff of the instruments, equipment, and also such as the electrical and also the bands, also something like the paper lines. And this is kind of stuff we're doing for. So that is very important. That is sounds like the much more detail for this thing, for all of these buildings they're making for. So actually that process is all of the process from the start to the end of this building. Okay, what is that? That is a draw. This draw is a major for our place to do for. So when we try to design the buildings, we must to make the view looking around there. So we will use our draw to fly. And to frame this, we can see all of our ground is have some different view or some difference to watch. For example, we were using our drone to see what is this land, and we got some mountains or some hills, and how far of this from some particular areas of some particular landmarks. So this thing is actually giving us the big hand to help us. So let's try to fly with this. Okay, let's take off. Let's take off. Let's take off. All right, guys. So, in the next time of the online lecture, we will show you the air photos or the air videos when we're using the drone to do so. So, thanks for watching our online lecture. We are Goksun Architecture Design agencies, and please log on our Facebook and YouTube, also the Twitter if you're interested for.